Hey, welcome to Storylab. This is the smallest serialized short story channel on YouTube. So if you found your way here, we're happy to have you. I'm glad that the algorithm fated for us to meet by you clicking on the thumbnail for this Dune 2 review from a writer's perspective. So let's go ahead and jump in. I've already seen the movie twice in the same weekend and plan to see it again in IMAX 70 millimeter as Denny intended for the audience to watch the movie. I'm just really excited to talk about it. I really enjoyed the film and wanted to share my perspective as someone who really loves great narratives coming to life. Not to mention that I was so excited with the movie that I made the impulse purchase of getting the art book, and I regret nothing. And I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to share that experience with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. I can't spend as much time as I would like on this review since I'm headed to Portugal in the morning. So I'll share a quick review, and when I get back, I'll see if I'm in the mood to really dive into the nuances of the film that I think make it really special. So let's start with the hype. Is it real? Yes, 100%. Yes, the hype is real. Dune 2 is in strong contention for film of the year. I know it's only March, but it's that good. By the way, if you haven't watched the movie yet, what are you doing? Why are you here? There are going to be so many spoilers, like so many spoilers. Well, okay, maybe I don't know the exact amount of spoilers, but there are going to be some spoilers. So go watch the movie. I don't know if that's what YouTubers are supposed to do, but go watch the movie first and then come back to check out the review. Or if you've already read the book and you already know what's coming, feel free to hang out and stay here. So listen, as someone who loves sci-fi, Dune 2 hits all of the right notes. It delivers on an immersive world, epic battles, complex interpersonal relationships, extraplanetary tensions, enhanced abilities, and now one guy who crucially delivers the right balance of humor and adulation. And I'm sure that most people know who I'm talking about. If you don't, that's my man, Stilgar. Everybody needs a Stilgar in their lives to just hype them up. Just like the ultimate hype, man. Like, yo, you got it. Lisan al-Gaib. If you haven't watched the movie, you wouldn't get it. All right, yeah, anyways. So, it's all the right notes. When I watch movies, there are 4 things that I look for. How immersive is the story? How is it written? What are some of the big ideas? And how is it designed? The audio design, the set design, the costume design, all of those things working together. These are the things that I like to pay attention to. So like I'm going to try to do this fairly rapid fire for you. First, let's focus on immersion. Dune 2 not only brings you into the world of Arrakis, but you get a view of Bloody Prime, the Harkonnen homeworld. When watching this movie, I didn't feel like a viewer. I honestly felt like I was on Arrakis in the sense that I was drawn in by the cinematography and the small details of the world to the point where for all the scenes on Arrakis, I felt like I was watching the story unfold through a Fremen's eyes. It was like a lived experience by osmosis. For the writing, I think that a popular misnomer is that if a movie is based on a book, then it's much easier to write and film. Personally, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Denis Villeneuve had his hands full building the world of Dune, including having dialogue that conveys the multifaceted ideas of the book in a way where the viewer can follow along, especially if they don't have a background in sci-fi novels and how detailed and granular some of these stories can actually get. When it comes to the writing of Dune, I would say that it's not necessarily that the writing stands out, or better yet, that the writing actually takes a step back to the delivery of the writing, to the performance of the writing. Timothy, Zendaya, Javier, Rebecca, and all the top billed cast did their thing. They really made the writing come alive. So like you almost forget that, like you're watching something that is actually scripted as they are portraying these characters. Like the tent scene where Paul gets his Fedaykin name, or like his Fremen name being Muad'Dib or Usul, right? Like just a conversation there between him and Chani and Stilgar and others in the tent. Also, you have the cave scene. Oh my goodness. The cave scene gave me chills. It was, Timothy walked into that and he fully embodied Paul Atreides. I didn't even know, like it was an actor. It was just, that's Paul Atreides, and y'all better listen to my man right now. Really made the writing come alive. Those scenes were phenomenal. Even some of the more subtle scenes, like Princess Uralan uncovering the scheme of the Reverend Mother and wondering, like, hey, what happens if Paul is still alive? And, like, what are you thinking in regards to you're behind the Emperor taking out the Atreides family? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's that subtle dialogue. It was her disposition. It was the Reverend Mother's stoicism. Everything about it was incredible. And I'll make this last point, but Vade's sarcastic, may your blade chip and shatter, like, because he's unfamiliar with the Fremen way, and he just takes it with a cavalier attitude, truly believing that he was going to defeat Paul. It wasn't the most profound writing. I mean, I would say that for the bulk of the film, it wasn't the most profound writing. There are obviously exceptions to that, but it was clear what was happening, why it was happening, and to whom it was happening to. Now, where there were some drawbacks was in how the story assumed certain things on behalf of the viewer. There were certain attitudes the writing kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say forced on it, because I believe it's probably even the book that might characterize some of these ideas in this way. But there were some assumptions made that I don't know if all viewers, actually I know for a fact that all viewers didn't share as it pertained to, some of the nuances, especially the conflicts between the, beliefs on Arrakis, and what that meant for the Fremen people. This actually brings me to point 3, the big ideas. There were multiple tension points in the film. Paul and the desert, Paul and his mom, the Emperor and the Bene Gesserit, and so on. So for me personally, what stood out were the religious and moral quandaries. I love religious and moral quandaries, especially in sci-fi films, because the genre really just pushes the envelope, which is really interesting. But it was these quandaries that Paul and Chani face, and what it did to their relationship that I found the most interesting. Not to mention the tension between Paul and his orchestrated, but not really orchestrated destiny. I think it's still very unclear the idea or the intention of the Bene Gesserit and what they wanted for Paul and his mom, and how that played into the larger narrative of what they want to see unfold. But perhaps maybe we'll get more clarity into that in Dune Messiah. But it was very interesting to see Paul's tension with his destiny, and him being the reluctant hero in the story up until a point. And these tensions propelled the narrative, causing the viewer to choose sides, which is good. It shows that these ideas are working, because there were some questions like, was the Bene Gesserit's influence on the Fremen people, using their beliefs to influence events to their own ends, wrong if that same influence is used as the course of events that leads Paul to helping the Fremen people be liberated from the oppression of the Emperor and the Great Houses? Was Chani's critique of religious dogma valid? Did the prophecy keep her people enslaved to an idea that she believed would never be actualized, despite her relationship to whom the prophecy was organized to focus on as the realization of said prophecy? Was Paul right to lean into the belief, though he vehemently opposed it throughout the film? These are all the questions that the big ideas in Dune 2 force viewers to wrestle with, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, these are just a few ideas. All right, lastly, the design of Dune 2, incredible, just amazing. I know that's not helpful, it's just emotive, but that's what it was. The shots, the lighting, Gledy Prime threw me for a loop. A black sun? Like who thinks that? And then to also be able to render that in a visual format where only black, white, and shades of gray are visible on the spectrum, right? And I mean, the audio, each time I watched the movie, I had to watch it in Dolby Atmos. Like I needed it. I needed that richness. I needed that immersion into the sound. It was amazing. Every otherworldly sound came through with richness and depth to the point where you're like, yeah, that sound is not from our planet at all. Like they took the sounds from space. They needed to actually get the sounds from space, from aliens or from whomever are out there. They needed to pull those in. There's no way that humans could make that sound. Oh, and the fight scene. I'm a fanboy real quick. The fight scene was incredible. Fade versus Paul. Oh my goodness. That's what I call expert choreography. My heart was literally, I kid you not, my heart was literally beating out of my chest during that fight because I was like, what is about to happen? I haven't read the book, so I'm following the narrative of the movies, which is really exciting, but that also leaves you like not knowing what the outcome of that battle would be, especially when they seem so evenly matched. But to be honest, my heart was really beating fast because I had consumed a large icy and most of a large bucket of popcorn by myself. But either way, it was literally heart pumping action. So immersion, check. Design, check. Big ideas, check. It covers the gamut. Like it hits all the right points, all the right notes, and it delivers in the experience. So when you're watching it, I think that's what people really enjoy, is that they were brought into the story and they loved being able to participate in it because of how it was shot, how it was written, how it was delivered, how it was designed. All right, cool. So short video, short review. That's my review of Dune 2. I don't know if it's necessarily a review. It's just like, this stuff was good. They have a really great concepts that they're dealing with. And yeah, really, really strong film. Let's get into this book. Dune 2. All right. So the art book is meant to be a companion to the movie, especially if you care about like all the little details, if you care about the photography, the cinematography, what was happening on set. The art book carries you along on that journey, and so that's one of the reasons why I got it. But this is the book. Yo, she did her thing in the film. One little thing that I'd like to share before I end the video is the fact that, did you know, and I found this out when I learned more about the art book, that when Chani, Zendaya's character, wore the blue headband around her head or around her arm, Fremen women wear color when they're in love. What? That detail is in here somewhere. I'm going to find it, and when I do, I will absolutely share it with you. But it's details like that that make getting art books so awesome, because you really get to see them on, really get to see greater detail, like right here, the sandworm grappling hooks. You get to have like more of an explanation there of the design there. That's all I have for you at this time. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate you, and I hope that you stick around for some of the other short stories that we have on the channel. Feel free to check those out, and if you would like, feel free to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you can catch any new updates. All right, take care.